How's it going, guys? This is going to be a quick video. I've been seeing a lot of people ask me questions in regard to how I got my Nemesis. So I've gotten two Nemesises so far. The first one that I received was from completing the Nemesis quest late. If you do the Nemesis quest at level 40, you'll be able to get a max level 40 Nemesis for you to use. The second way I've gotten my Nemesis is through the wrong button, loot allocations. So for a lot of people who are new to the game and a lot of veterans, when you look at your targeted loot, it'll show you the location for what drops in that area. So for instance, Federal Triangle has increased loot allocation for marksman rifles. So if you were to do regular missions such as Heroic Control Point 4 in this area, or you run around the map and kill named targets on Heroic, and there's a really good resource map for that on the Reddit that shows you where all the named targets are on the entire map. You have an increased chance to get your marksman rifle. Now, a lot of people will see target loot allocations for, let's say, Jefferson Trade Center. Currently, it's for the hyenas and it's for submachine gun. What a lot of people don't know is if the targeted drop is a submachine gun. Let's say you're going after Pestilence. Right now, if you're going after Pestilence, this mission is probably the best mission to run constantly, back to back to back to back, to get it. Because Pestilence is, one, a hyena drop, and it's also a submachine gun. So you're more or less double dipping the system in order to get that weapon. For the marksman rifles and any other weapon, I would say don't waste your time farming them in missions where they don't have targeted drops to a certain faction, because you'll just be running that mission 300 times over and over and over again in hopes of getting it to drop. What you want to do is you want to wait for the dark zone to become the targeted loot drop. So if DZ South is the targeted drop for sniper rifles, get a group together or head into DZ South solo. There are a bunch of monuments that you can hit that are near doorways that you can just run up to, hit it, head back to the doorway, teleport to another area, hit that location, and more or less keep it moving. Because from what I've seen, I've gotten the most exotics from the dark zone when I went in there on a targeted loot drop. Running the regular missions, it doesn't really pan out that well. You'll run the missions like a million times and you'll never be able to get it. So for instance, like a mission that I think a lot of people should pay attention to would be the Lincoln Memorial. So for Lincoln Memorial right now, the targeted drop is, what is this, Douglas Harding loot set. What you would want to do is you'd want to wait until Lincoln Memorial is for chess piece, because there are true sons, and when you run that mission there are 4 bosses, which gives you the most optimal chance of getting that exotic chess piece. So more or less, it's more or less double dipping in the system. When the targeted loot allocation is for the weapon you're looking for, and then the weapon you're looking for is tied to a certain faction, that's when you want to hit it. I know there are a lot of people that are currently farming Bullet King in New York. So when you pop over to New York, you know, you want to run the tombs, and you're running the tombs over and over again. But loot allocation for the tombs is a gear set, whereas the Rikers area is an assault rifle. Then when you go down to the financial district, it's another gear set. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to wait for the tombs to either become a targeted loot allocation for machine guns, or you want one of these areas to become the loot allocation for machine guns, and then you can do the bounties, and that is another thing to talk about. Bounties. So when you hop over to bounties, the bounties in that area, every single boss that you kill, name target you kill in that area for a bounty, is going to be tied to the loot allocation for that area. So for East Mall's loot allocation is Murakami Industries, which means every single bounty that you do in this area is going to drop a Murakami Industries piece, and it's going to be a high chance, if you're doing it on Heroic, that that piece is going to be well, it's going to be an exotic. But as you can see, the loot allocation for today, it's not tied to Federal Triangle. There are no bounties in Federal Triangle for you to do, so you won't be able to get a sniper rifle if you're just running bounties in that area. So I would say look out for dark zones that have sniper rifle loot drops, and head in there and have at it. See if you can get one. It seems as though exotics have a higher chance to drop in the dark zone. And then also look out for the area that they drop in, how many control points are in the area, that you can create like a nice system to run through and knock them out. You can also join other people's games if they're requesting backup in that certain area to run through control point 4s. I know a lot of people on the Division 2 Discord, the Reddit Discord, they have groups that are constantly farming control point 4s in order to try and farm exotics. I know there are a lot of exotic bugs that are currently in the game at the moment. I don't know how Massive is going to respond to people doing those exotic bugs. It could hit a situation where they decide to ban people for using those bugs. I don't want to use those bugs because I have a lot of hours in this game and I don't feel like starting over. But yeah, like if you're looking for an exotic, you got to learn how to double dip the system. Basically, check and see if your exotic is tied to a certain faction, and then just pay attention to the loot allocation, because there are going to be certain days where the loot is definitely going to drop on a mission for that faction, and it's going to increase your chances if you just run it over and over and over again. I know a bunch of people are trying to get the BTSU gloves. So if you're trying to get the BTSU gloves right now, Tidal Basin is probably the best one because it has increased loot allocation for gloves. It'll be the best chance for you to go in and get those. Another good spot to get those gloves is Camp White Oak. If Camp White Oak ends up becoming the next area that has loot allocation for gloves, you'll be able to get them there. But yeah, it's just a short video explaining how I got my Nemesis and how I typically get my exotics. Typically I run the dark zones and I pay attention to loot allocations when they pop up, so that I'll be able to maximize my drop chances instead of running the same thing over and over and over again 300 times and not getting anything, because as you know, loot currently sucks in this game. Alright guys, take it easy. Bye.